this is an inferior view of the brain. So as you can see, this is the cerebellum, and this is the medulla oblongata, and this is the olfactory bulbs, and here is olfactory tracts, and this is the sulcus, inferior temporal sulcus. Okay, that's all from the inferior view of the brain. Hi guys, I will explain to you about the inferior view of the brain. First part that we have is cerebellum. Cerebellum is a vital component in our brains as it plays a role in motor movement regulations and balance control. The cerebellum coordinates gait and maintain posture, control muscle tones and voluntary muscle activity, but is unable to initiate muscle contraction. Damage to this area in human result in a lost ability to control the fine movements, maintain posture and motor learning. This part is located in the posterior cranial fossa behind the fossa vertical, the pons and the medulla oblongata. For your information, the interesting fact about the cerebellum is it makes up 10% of your total volume of your brains, but consists of 50% to 80% of your brain's neurons. There are several key functions of the cerebellum, including balance and posture, mental functions, movements, motor learning, and visions. The next part is brainstem. Brainstem part is including midbrains, the pons, and the medulla oblongata that compose of several nerves, pathway, reflex center, and nuclei. For the midbrains, it serves an important function in motor movements, particularly movement of eyes, and in auditory and the visual processing. It is located within the brainstem and between the two of the developmental regions of the brain, which is the forebrains and the hindbrains. The next part of your brainstem is the pons. This part is a structure that links your brains to the spinal cord. It handles unconscious process and jobs such as your sleep-wake cycle and breathing. It also contains several junction points for nerves that control muscles and carry information from sensors in your head and face. The last part of your brainstem is the medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata is the connection between the brainstem and the spinal cord that carry multiple important functional centers. The medulla includes multiple nuclei and threads that have information from the spinal cord as well as the higher cortex. This part located at the most bottom part of your brains, making it a key conduct for the nerve signal to and from your body. It's also had to control the vital process like your heartbeats, breathing and blood pressure because medulla is the part where cardiovascular and respiratory system link together into a united system. The next part that we have is pyramid. Pyramid also known as medullary pyramid. The pyramid are pair white metal structure of the brainstem medulla oblongata that contain motor fiber of the corticospinal and corticobulbar tracts known as pyramid tract. The next part that we have from the inferior view of the brain is cerebellar penduscle. Cerebellar penduscle are the pair connection between the cerebellum and the brainstem. They play a vital role in communicating information to and from the cerebellum. They are all arise from the left and right side of the brainstem at the level of the pons and enter the interior cerebellum to form the roots of the arbor vitae or cerebellar white matter. There are 6 cerebellar penduscle in total, which is 6 on left and 6 on right. Those are superior cerebellar penduscle, middle superior penduscle, and inferior cerebellar penduscle. The next is cerebral penduscle. Cerebral penduscle is made of a mass of nerve fiber, and there is one penduscle of each side of the brain. The cerebral penduscle are connected to the pons, which is part of the frontal brain stem that looks like swelling. This cerebral penduscle containing important descending tracts like corticospinal tracts and corticobulbar tracts. The function is to help the transport of the nerve impulse from the higher part of the brains and the brainstem or lower part of the brains to the area of the central nervous system. Then we have mammillary body. Mammillary body are brainstem nuclei on the posterior-inferior aspect of the hypothalamus. They are pair of small round body located under the surface of the brain. Also, they consist of two groups of nuclei, which is the medial mammillary nuclei and lateral mammillary nuclei. For the function, they are involved with processing of reconnaissance memory, along with the anterior and dorsomedial nuclei of the thalamus. The part that we have is optic tract. The optic tract is a large bundle of nerve fiber of the visual pathway. It is a pair structure located in both sides, which is left and right side of the brain. The origin of the optic tract is the optic chiasm, the H-shaped structure located above the pituitary gland. In the optic tract, the fiber from the superior retinal quadrant lie laterally, while inferior retinal fiber run medially. The two lateral nuclei receive input from both eyes. However, each nucleus only receives information from one half of the visual field due to the decussation of fiber in the chiasm. The second last part that we have is pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is a small pea-sized gland that found at the base of your brain in the line with the top of your nose. Your pituitary acts as your body master gland, and it is important part of your endocrine system because the pituitary gland generates many hormones like growth hormone, luteinizing hormone, and prolactin to your body. The last part that we have is olfactory bulb. Olfactory bulb is a structure located in the forebrain of the vertebrate that receives neural input about odor detected by cell in the nasal cavity. The olfactory bulb will send olfactory information to be further processed by amygdala, the orbitofrontal cortex, and hippocampus, where it plays a role in emotions, memory, and learning. The bulb is divided into two distinct structures, which is the main olfactory bulb and the accessory olfactory bulb. The main olfactory bulb connects to the amygdala via the piriform cortex of the primary olfactory cortex and directly project from the main olfactory bulb to specific amygdala area. The accessory olfactory bulb resides on the dorsal posterior region of the brain's olfactory bulb and form a parallel pathway. Okay, that's all from the interview. Okay, that's all about the inferior view of the brain. Thank you.
What?
That's all. That's all. That's all explanation about the inferior view of the brains. You can check out my friend's QR code for other explanations.